Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I want to talk about this particular situation and kind of share my thoughts about what's going on. I'm not even sure if I'm on the correct channel, so I have to double check to make sure. See if I'm on the right page and whatnot. Let me see. Okay, I'm on the correct channel. I'm going to be dealing with a topic that it's amazing that I got to keep dealing with these issues, because when you think about the Black community, when you think about the violence, the dysfunctions, the evil, we see it all too often. Hassan Campbell basically condoned a snowball attack on the NYPD by Black people. And it's kind of interesting that I'm doing this particular topic, being that I made 2 videos talking about my experience with Black folk in America and how Black people suffer for what is known as internalized racism. This hatred typically causes these animals to attack people like myself that actually speak the truth. You'll see them appear in my live chat. They will express a lot of anger against people like myself. And it's because we hold them accountable. Now, this particular attack shows a mob of wolves and hyenas throwing snowballs, injuring law enforcement officers. This was not fun. These were not children. These were grown men that were doing this. Grown men were throwing snowballs, injuring law enforcement officers in New York. And Hassan Campbell pretty much condoned this. Let me set this computer up here so I could see the live chat, because I have it on my cell phone and I can't really see what's going on through there. But I want to kind of get into this particular topic, share my thoughts about this, and do what we need to do. Again, as you come into the stream, guys, make sure you hit the like button. We're on a new journey of finding the correct audience that actually supports the platform. So I'm going to continue to do my work as normal. I don't really care about the haters. Let them continue to do. They're going to always view in the clouds to do their job. Their job is to try to cause me to quit. But I'm not doing that. So we're going to be reviewing this video by Hassan Campbell, where he basically was condoning YNs from attacking the NYPD. Now, I want to say a couple of things that will ruffle up a little feathers. What if those cops would have put a bullet in one of them kids' heads? What if the law enforcement officers would have crashed out? Because I would have. If I was one of those police officers and a mob of wolves and YNs started throwing snowballs, hitting me in the face, busting my teeth, hitting me in my eye, I'm injured, I'm crashing out, and I'm going to put you in a box. I don't mind going to prison. I'm fed up with you. I'm just being honest. What I saw in that video was rather disgusting. And when you talk about these things, the Black community laugh. Everything is a joke. What if they did this to your mother? What if your mother is walking down the street and a mob of ninjas decide to start throwing snowballs at your mama? She falls, she hits her head, she dies. I want to know exactly how you feel about that. Would it be all fun? Grandma is dead. Mama is dead by a pack of wolves. Hassan referred to them as kids. Those are grown men. Those are not kids. See, Hassan dropped the ball once again. This is not 1988. This is not early 90s when you had snowball fights and we had fun as kids. We're in 2026. There was a mob of ninjas out doing evil, throwing snowballs at people. And that's why the call came in for law enforcement to come in and break up the mob. When you have a pack of YNs in one group, there's going to be violence. Whenever you put a pack of wolves together, ninjas primarily, you're going to have nothing but violence and death. And law enforcement went down there to do their job, and instead they were attacked, disrespected, humiliated. And the Black community is clapping about this. They think this is good. They think this is fun. They feel this is entertaining. And I'm here to give pushback to that, regardless of how you feel. I'm looking for the right kind of people that view my content. Everybody else that don't like my content, I don't care how you feel. You can leave, you can unsubscribe. It is what it is. I'm going to do the job that I was here for. My job is to balance out what's happening on social media when it comes to the image of Black Americans and the things that they're doing that is making us look like animals, because you're an animal. The things that I've saw in that video is not humane. It's disgusting. And it makes you look horrible. And anybody that condoned that, you're an animal just like those animals that were out there doing this evil. Because at the end of the day, you got to think about this, guys. And I want you guys to pay very close attention to the live chat. I want you to take screenshots of it. When you see people expressing all this anger, F the NYPD, F law enforcement, F this, F that. Those are Black people that's saying that. I want you to understand that now. Those are the first ones that will call the NYPD if they're in a car accident. Somebody hit your car, what's the first thing you do? You call the police so they could come do a police report. But it's F the police. Somebody rob your house. Who's the first you call? NYPD. Anything happen, they're the first to call them. Here's my take on this. So everybody that was throwing snowballs, right? Where was that energy when Black men and women were getting beat in the street by the NYPD? Where was that energy? Where was all that energy when Black men were being abused, police brutality? Where was that energy when Black people were being abused by police? Where was that energy? Where was the energy to grab an officer when he's beating up a Black man and he's handcuffed, mind you, no gun, no weapon? Why is it that the Black community, right, when you see stuff like that, you don't do a damn thing about it? Where you at? When you see a Black man getting manhandled by law enforcement, and it's very clear he didn't do nothing wrong, why y'all don't step up as a mob and set order the way you did with all the snowball stuff? Because you're scared. The reason why you hyenas were doing what you were doing is because it was a mob of you. A mob. And that's typical with YNs and ninjas. Anytime there's a pack of wolves, they all feel empowered. They all feel like they got strength in numbers. That's why they did that. But if an officer would have gotten mad, crashed out, pulled out a gun, and started shooting into the crowd and killed a bunch of young Black men, you will say that the cop is a racist. That's what you'll say. Because if it was me and I was one of them cops, I would have did that. I would have took you out. I would have put you in a box because I don't like you. Just being honest. I don't like ninjas. I don't like YNs. I don't like animals. And what I saw in that video was disgusting. That was horrible. You guys were literally hitting these officers in the face with snowballs, real snowballs that hurt, hitting you in the face, hitting you in the eye. You know what it feels like to get hit in the eye? You ever got hit in the eye playing baseball? You ever got hit with a tennis ball? And y'all were doing this, and it was cool, and y'all kept doing it. And y'all kept doing it, and y'all didn't stop. Those officers held back a lot of anger. Those officers held back a lot of anger. And I can guarantee you, those white officers, when they went back to camp, they were calling y'all a bunch of N-words. And guess what? They're justified. Those officers, if they got back in their little private group, in their little room, and they saying, I cannot stand those N-words, I don't feel no way. You know why? Because that's exactly what you are. Because the way I seen that video, those officers could have died. With the way that mob was going on, you guys tried to kill these officers. That wasn't fun. That was disgusting. And that shows what YNs do. And Hassan Campbell basically condoned that. It's absolutely crazy, guys. And the funny thing about this is, I want you folks to read the live chat. I want you to look at the live chat to see how the devil shows up when I go live. Doesn't matter what time of the day, guys. These demons, these YNs, these ninjas, these hyenas and animals show up to my show. Anytime I go live, anytime I do a video, anytime I'm holding the black community accountable for their evil nature, the devil shows up with all of them. They shows up to my live chat. You'll see them in the comments, posting stupid comments. No accountability. And you wondering why so-called black people are always looked upon as animals by society. You wondering why? It's because of what we're seeing here. So we're going to review the tape, and we're going to hold the black community accountable. That's what we're going to do. Because the church is not holding the black community accountable. Black men are cowards. They don't even protect their women. They don't even want to be fathers anymore, right? But you busy up right now watching me getting upset because I'm holding you accountable. You don't got nothing to say about these animals. But let's get to the content, see what Hassan has to say about the situation.
Y'all already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
But we have to tell you, police showed plenty of restraint as huge crowds threw snowballs and chunks of snow at those officers. They looked to de-escalate the situation by leaving Washington Square Park. But here's a look at the video. Yeah, not a pretty picture. Police initially called to the scene around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Hundreds of people were in the park. They looked like they were kind of having fun, like a massive snowball fight. Police showed up, though, and people in the area were warned, don't throw snowballs at police. It's common sense, but they did it anyway, hitting the officers in the back of the head. The volatile scene had at least one NYPD officer holding up some pepper spray, telling people, get back. Well, Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, she is reacting this morning. She condemned the attack on X. She wrote, quote, the NYPD is aware of certain videos taken earlier today in Washington Square Park showing individuals attacking cops. I want to be clear, the behavior depicted is disgraceful and it is criminal. Tisch added that our detectives are investigating this matter. Look, and we're getting response from the PBA as well, the largest police union. The Police Benevolent Association called the attack unacceptable and outrageous, adding this is the environment that New York City police officers are up against. They went on to say our police officers are being treated for their injuries, but the case cannot end there. The individuals involved must be identified, arrested, charged with assault on an officer, and all of our city leaders, they must speak up to condemn this despicable attack. And the Detectives Endowment Association, that's the detectives union, they said what we saw in Washington Square Park was not harmless fun. It was a deliberate, outrageous, dangerous attack on uniformed police officers. So far, no arrests have been made. A lot of people wearing masks there, so it's kind of hard to see maybe who people were, even if they have some of the video.
Now, I want you to think about a couple of things about this situation. They said that this is what they're up against in New York City. Translation: law enforcement is against ninjas. That's the problem in New York. Ninjas. And this is what they're up against. Law enforcement got to deal with this evil. Again, if your grandmother was walking down the street and a group of damn animals started throwing snowballs at her, you'll be ready to crash out, wouldn't you? You'll be ready to crash out. You ain't worrying about prison time. I'm not. You do that stuff to me and I'm walking with my kids, and a bunch of you damn ninjas start throwing snowballs, hitting my kids and hitting me, I'm putting you in a box, bro. For real. I don't care. I'll go to prison for life. I'm shocked that these officers didn't use their weapon. I'm shocked that they didn't crash out. They have a lot of restraint. A lot of restraint. And y'all saying, oh, it's just snow. Snow? Snow hurt. You getting hit in the face with a snowball and you think everything gonna be smiles? You don't know these people. You don't know what's going on. And you know what pisses me off about this, about you ninjas? Anything that I talk about, when it comes to holding people accountable, y'all act like I don't know right from wrong. It's okay because they're white. They're police. We're supposed to disrespect them. We're supposed to throw snowballs. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So hold up. Let me get this straight. You think this is cool? This is how so this represents the black community. Oh, I get it. This is how y'all are. All right, cool.
How you a cop and snitching?
Again, everybody that had a snowball thrown was black. I see some of you clowns, you in a live chat talking about, I see other faces there. I see other people there. What I see is animals and ninjas. That's what I see. Ninjas. And the majority of you condone it. You condone attacking law enforcement officers with snowballs. It's cool. You're up watching me right now. Why? If you're not here for this truth, leave. Because I don't need you here. I want the people here that actually understand right from wrong. Those are the groups that I want to talk with. Everybody else, you could go. Because what I'm seeing here is a very, very serious thing. And it's sad because you don't see no women in these videos. You see ninjas. It's not black women that you see doing this. It's young black men that you see doing this. Where are their fathers to teach them any sort of value? There are none. Father's not home. Do you understand? These are not kids. These are young men. No accountability. One of the biggest issues in the black community is that nobody hold them accountable. They could literally go out there and harm cops. Now, I'm praying that charges be brought on these people. I hope that they analyze the videos and they're able to use facial recognition technology to identify these particular individuals and arrest them and charge them with felony assault against law enforcement officers. I pray that they do that, because this is one of the major issues in the community, and nobody talks about it. Because again, in the Black community, there are no leaders. There are no leaders in the Black community. Nobody holds the Black community accountable. Because Black men in today's day, they have no backbone, no morals, no values. The reason why Hassan is condoning this is because that is how you get the click and the view. You got to ride the train of the YNs. If you don't, the Black community will not support you. Remember in my last video, I told you guys that if you're an influencer and you're Black, you gotta go along with the narrative of just being a ninja. You gotta be a YN. You have to have the mindset of, hey, I can't beat them, might as well I join them. In other words, even if I got morals and values, I gotta act like an animal. Hassan is supposed to be a father. He's supposed to be a father, a Black man with kids. Do you really think Hassan would condone his own son being out there doing that? Not one bit. But if it means getting views, if it means getting the clicks and the likes, then hey, I gotta agree what the youth was doing, because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to win. I can't eat unless I please my viewers by making them feel like I'm in support of this violence. Again, is this something that is good for the community, or is it violence? It looks like violence to me, right? Let's see what we got. MWL, shout out to you for the support. Says, hold on, let me do this thing real quick. Facts, some of the snowballs hold a lot of weight and cover up with rocks or shards of glass, and cops were probably given orders to not retaliate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were given those orders. But I'm just going to be honest. If it was me, I would have crashed out. I would have lost my job and I would have went to prison. Somebody would have been made an example of. I promise you. Somebody would have been made an example of that day. One of you ninjas would have been an example. You would have been on a TV screen and your family would have been grieving. I would have definitely dealt with you. You would have been dealt with that day. Even if it's just one of you, I would have crashed out and I would have risked it all just to send a strong message to the whole mob that all that foolishness you're doing, you're going to pay for that nonsense. That's why I'm hoping that charges get brought up against them and these youngins get felonies on their records so it could destroy their whole future. Because animals like that attacking law enforcement officers is unacceptable. See, a lot of you folks that condone this stuff, it's either you a youngin with no brain and you're not mature, or you're one of these guys like Hassan that pretty much will do and say anything for a click and a view. Because he dropped the ball. This man is supposed to be a father. Would Hassan Campbell condone his son doing this? Would Hassan Campbell say it's cool for his son to do this? If Hassan Campbell's son was out there attacking cops, you think he would sit good with that? Maybe that's what you guys do. Maybe that's what your sons do. Maybe your sons are out of control and they do this very type of stuff. Let's go.
So let me get this straight. You got a group of kids.
Hassan, those were not kids. You sounding crazy, dog. Those were not kids, dog. Those are grown men. Kids? Those are not kids, fam. Those are grown young men. You're addressing grown men as kids? Bro.
That got caught in the blizzard. No school. They decided to go outside and turn one of the most deadliest storms in New York history into a snowball fight and have fun. Now it's hundreds of kids with no school outside.
Again, Hassan, why you keep calling grown men kids? These are not kids, these are animals. These are ninjas, YNs, the problem childs of the community, the delusional delinquents, the menace to society, the hyenas, the wolves. And they're out there doing this evil. You calling them kids.
Having a snowball fight. And along come some pigs.
Pigs. So Hassan Campbell believed that law enforcement are pigs, not because he had an encounter with one of these officers. Just because you're an officer, you're a pig. Now again, he's an influencer on social media. I told you guys, influencers are the ones who are destroying the youth. Because by him doing this, he's sending a message to young men that are coming up, 18, 19, 21, whatever the case is. He's in his 40s. He's basically using his platform, his age, his everything that he got to lead the black community into a mindset of the NYPD are a bunch of pigs. This is what he's doing. And you wondering why our young men are being murdered. You're wondering why. It's because the influencers are influencing the youth. No different than the rappers. Rap is dead. The music industry died a long time ago. So now the new rappers, the new false prophets in today's day are the influencers. The ones who are leading the people to their graves.
Some cops. And decided that they was going to shut down their fun. These police went to that park to interrupt their snowball fight.
First of all, Hassan is not even telling you the context of what took place. These animals were doing evil on top of roofs, throwing snowballs at regular people walking by. People that were minding their business were getting hit in the face with snowballs. They were throwing snowballs at vehicles. They were throwing snowballs everywhere, hitting people. People decide to call law enforcement. This guy's not even giving you the context. He's making it seem like police came over there to interrupt their fun. No, that's not what happened. These animals were attacking people. People were literally doing what they normally do, going about their daily lives, getting hit in the face with snowballs, guys. Mothers, grandmothers, kids, unprovoked, were getting attacked by these demons. They called law enforcement. They came there to shut down the mess. And what did he do? He decided to say, you know what? I'm going to side with the animals because that'll give me some clicks and me some views.
As you heard the newscaster saying, it looks like they were having fun.
It looks like they were not having fun. You're not giving the people context. This is what happens when you report on something and you don't give the viewer the context to understand what was going on.
Skipped out on that part right there. So because those police went over there with hot hands, they got cooled off with cold snow. And the police looked like they was being bullied. And you know, we can't have that. We can't have the people of the community.
The slaves. Notice what Hassan did. Now, what Hassan is using is psychology and hypnosis. He said slaves, then he said the people in the community, reminding black youth that you are a slave. Oops, not slave, people in the community. And you're wondering why black men and black women think like slaves. It's because these influencers keep programming you to think like a slave. Let's proceed.
Looking like they got more power and they're intimidating the police with cold, soft snowballs. The snow didn't even get hard. It was soft. You know when it first fall from the sky?
Now he's justifying the snow by saying the snow was soft. If that's the case, Hassan, why don't you stand in front of your house, let a bunch of YNs come and throw a bunch of damn snowballs in your face? Let's see what you do. I don't think you're going to sit there and take it and say, oh, it's soft. It's just regular snow. It don't bother me. Come on, guys, hit me. You ain't going to stand there and do that. And if they hit your kids, you definitely going to crash out. If one of them animals hit one of your kids, I promise you ain't going to be on YouTube making videos. You're going to be behind bars. You're going to be making videos behind bars, telling your viewers, yo, fam, you know what I'm saying? They hit my daughter. I lost it. I'm going to be here for some time. I set up a GoFundMe. I need you guys to send money for my lawyer. That's what you're going to do. You're condoning attacking police, and you're an influencer.
It's all soft, and you can barely ball it up. And as you can see, some of the officers in some of this footage, some of these officers was laughing, the black one, but the white ones, well, the orange ones,
The white ones and the orange ones, again, promoting racist terms. He said the black ones were smiling, but the white ones, the orange ones, which promotes division, separation, hate. Continuing to promote propaganda, to stir up the hornet's nest, so we could be divided once again. This is what social media does. If they were to shut social media down today, the world would be a better place. I might not be able to do what I'm doing now. I would have to go find something else to do. But if they were to shut down social media today, right now, the world would change. People will become civilized. People will treat each other better because we don't have to hear from no fucking influencers no more. Programming our mind with nothing but hate. We would have to communicate again. We would have to say hello like we used to. Rather than texting and DMing and hitting like buttons, we can now interact with one another like humans used to do. We respected each other back in the day. Today, because of influencers, everybody's programmed with hate. Most of you that hate me, for some reason, for some odd reason, at this time in the morning, you decided to show up over here to express your hate. It's in your blood. Social media does that. If there was no social media, you wouldn't even know what's going on in my world. Social media give us so much access into other people's lives, we just feel the need to hate. Let's go.
real pink. How dare these slaves get out of,
These slaves, again, he's calling black people slaves. But y'all don't got a problem with that. No problem. Because you know why? You're a slave.
kids in the community get out of line. How dare you go outside in the blizzard and have fun? And when we come pull up in the park, see, that's the key word. These kids.
When we come pull up in the park, not the white man, the black man. When we, see, even Hassan know that the majority of them people throwing snow is black and not white. So to the person that was in the live chat talking about, oh, I see other people, listen, I'm originally from New York. I know the area where all of this took place. It was nothing but ninjas there. Ninjas. That's all was there. Let's go.
Was in a park. They didn't go to the police station. The police station came to them.
They came to them because they were abusing people. But Hassan not going to tell you that. These YNs were hitting innocent people with snow. That's why the law enforcement was called out. Why would police show up in the first place? If these youngins weren't doing nothing wrong. Why would cops show up? They showed up for one reason, because they were hitting people with snowballs.
If there was any charges that needed to be made, any assaults that was going on, the police should have made it right then and there, because those children, they hurt.
Again, he's saying children. How much time is Hassan going to address these grown men as children? You don't see the psychological manipulation that's going on with you? He's calling grown men children. There's no children in that video. It's grown men. Animals. Disgusting beasts. Attacking law enforcement with snowball fights. Injuring them. And they thought it was cool. And what does the black community do about it? Nothing. It's not a problem. But if the white officer pull out his gun, pull the trigger, he's a racist. You see how that worked?
No, they was having fun. And because the police couldn't control kids outside having fun, now the news is announcing they're going to use their technology, their cameras,
right,
to go figure out which kids these was that did or didn't have masks on, follow them through the community, and then send the police to their house and lock them up.
That'll be a great thing. I hope and pray that through technology, law enforcement is able to identify each and every one of them people on the camera. Because there's a lot of videos all over social media being published. Because, you know, ninjas are stupid. They get their cell phone, they start recording all of their crimes. They that dumb. They'll record themselves attacking police officers with snow, post it on Instagram, Twitter, post it on TikTok, YouTube, and figure everything is cool till they get caught. I hope that all you ninjas get caught. And I would love to see those felonies on your records so it can ruin your life forever, because you deserve it.
For assault. My question to you out there watching, because I see other niggas making videos and it's pissing me off.
I don't care who's pissing you off. This is my first video. And I'm going to piss you off even more, because I don't know who you're talking about. Because this is my first video, so you must be talking about somebody else. Because you're not talking about me. I'm a father, and there's no way I'm going to have any son of mine outside throwing snow at law enforcement, knowing the history of law enforcement officers gunning down young black men. See, this is the thing that I don't understand with this hypocrisy. You complain that law enforcement is abusing black people. But when black people are now abusing law enforcement, it's cool. Which one is it? Which one is it? This hypocrisy, it gotta stop.
Got a lot of black dudes that come home from the penitentiary and now all of a sudden they whitewashed. Niggas is trying so hard to be Trump supporters that it ain't even funny.
Do you see what he's saying now? He's saying ninjas that came home from the penitentiary. Now watch this. Let me break this thing down. He's saying ninjas came home from the penitentiary. They're whitewashed, trying to be Trump supporters. What did I tell you guys in my last video? That if you're a Trump supporter, the black community automatically hates you. Didn't I tell you guys that this is what influencers do? Didn't I tell you guys that these influencers come up on their platforms and immediately they try to brainwash black people by saying, oh, if you see an influencer or somebody and they support Trump, they're whitewashed. What does that control? The narrative, money. See, most of you viewers are just stupid. Y'all don't understand the business of social media. These content creators have already done sold out. He's calling people whitewashed, but yet he's the sellout. He sells out his own people. How do he sell out his own people? By condoning dysfunction. By coming on social media, acting as if though it is cool to attack law enforcement is a sellout move. A sellout move in order to make money. He's not correcting the situation. He's not being a leader. He's condoning it. And what we're going to see in the future is more dead bodies of black youth at the hands of law enforcement. Because the things that we're doing is going to come back. We're going to reap what we sow. The things that we do that he's condoning, it's going to cause more young black youth to get gunned down by law enforcement. Do you think those white officers got any love for black people? No. And I don't blame them. I don't care. Because the animals that were out there don't even deserve to have freedom no more. What I saw out there was disgusting. And you might be black and you might be listening to this and you might say, you're a sellout. You're defending white people. You just confirmed that it was all black people. Only blacks that was doing this. Everybody that had a snowball was black. And they were only doing it because you have a bunch of animals with them. If it was 3 of them throwing snowballs, y'all would have got tackled and arrested. But because it's a mob, y'all decided to just do that dirty stuff, figuring you could get away with it. Like I said, those officers expressed a lot of restraint. Because I promise you, fam, if it was me, I would have crashed out. God is my witness. I would have crashed out. Just one of you ninjas would have went down. I would have made an example out of you. It doesn't matter if I didn't get everybody, but just one. You'd have been dealt with. Because these guys got injured for real. And they well wanted to put hands on them. Because I looked at the video, and when they were getting hit, they were doing this to women too. You had female officers that got hit in the face hard with snowballs, busted up their face. Women. Men were throwing snowballs, attacking women, busting up their face with snowballs, y'all. And it's cool to the black community. The black community condoned this. And you wondering why nobody like you. You wondering why nobody got respect for the black community. Because you don't even hold your own accountable.
Police officers had fun with this. Some of the police officers thought that this was fun. It was fun and games.
No officer thought this was fun and games. That's a lie. No officer thought this was fun and games. You're lying. You're justifying a group of animals that were doing evil. This is disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself because you're a father, and there's no way you would make your son do this. Because if your son was shown on social media doing this, you would want to hide him, put him on a plane, and send him somewhere. Because you know the cops is coming to your door. But the only reason why you're doing this video is for the money.
Some took it serious. But if you didn't want to be a part of a snowball fight, you should have stayed at the precinct.
Wow.
What's wrong? You didn't like normally y'all used to stop the kids by themselves and you're able to manhandle them aggressively, make them.
He's talking about manhandling kids aggressively. All of that is internal hate, which birth internalized racism that we express towards one another. He's reinforcing hate that's in our hearts. He's reinforcing the pain our ancestors felt. He's reinforcing the things we've already saw on the news done to black people to continually make us hate. That's what these influencers do. They program you to hate.
If they ID, shake them up and intimidate them. But when they was in packs of hundreds, you couldn't do that.
Now he's influencing the perpetrators and antagonizing the officers by saying, oh, when they were in packs of hundreds, y'all can't do nothing to them. Those cops could have bodied them. You tripping, bro. You're using your platform for the work of the devil. Those officers could have bodied those youths. Bodied them. They could have crashed out. Took out 3 or 4 of them right away. It would have been funerals right now. Then what would be your video? White officer is racist. He hates black people. What? So hold up. He's racist now? Wow. So let me get this straight. The people throwing the snowballs, they're not racist. They're just having fun. But if the officer pulled out his gun and used it, he got to be racist. So what if a black officer pull out his gun and he uses it? Is he a racist too? No, right? You can't say that about him, right? Let's go.
So a little bitty snowball hurt your feelings? A little itty bitty snowball hurt your feelings?
Look at
so
this.
You had to go back and tell the higher ups?
Look at this, man. Grown man saying a little itty bitty snowball hurt you. You had to go tell the higher ups. This is Hassan Campbell, popular YouTuber. Basically making fun of a serious situation. I would expect this man. See, here's the thing, guys. I'm 48. I'm a grown man. I'm not some kid like some of these YNs in their 20s, 18, 19, 25. You know what I mean? I'm not in that age group. This man supposed to be in his 40s. He's supposed to be an example to the youth. He claimed he been to the penitentiary. He claimed he did a bid. He claimed he caught bodies. He claimed all of this stuff. This man supposed to have wisdom to give the youth. Wisdom. The things he experienced, the walk that he walked, he supposed to have books and stories to tell, to guide the youth so they don't walk down that same path. Instead, he's using his platform to instill hate in the youth so they can repeat the same thing he did. That's disgusting, man. I'm not going to use my platform for that. I'm not going to do that because I got kids. I got kids, y'all. So I can't do that. That's why I'm shocked that this man is a father. And this is his response. He's condoning it, guys.
These kids hurt me. Wah! Wah! Goo, gag. That's all I see when I look at you. The officers that's complaining that want to press charges on kids for throwing snowballs?
Again, he's still calling them kids, y'all. He's still calling them kids. These are young men. Men. He's calling them kids. Condoning attacking law enforcement officers, knowing the history, guys. You ever heard the term, don't poke the bear? Don't poke the bear. God must have been out there protecting the officers. Because I promise you, man, I know one of them wanted to pull out that gun. I know they wanted to, man. I know their hand was ready to pull that trigger. They have to be decent officers. They had to be. That attack was on good officers. It was. Now, don't get me wrong. The NYPD got their bad apples. Trust me. I know. They got their bad apples. Those officers showed so much restraint. They had to be the good officers. Had to be. Because they were supposed to crash out.
You kidding me? Assault with a deadly snowball is going to be the charge? Are you kidding me?
Notice, he's making light of a snowball. Hassan, real shit, bro. If somebody took a snowball and hit your daughter in the face, you cool with that? That's a real question, G. You gonna be cool with that? I want to know. You a father. If I took a snowball, rolled it up, threw it in your daughter's face, how would you feel about that? You gonna say it's cool, it's just snow, go inside, girl, it's just snow, Ringo is just playing. No, you're gonna be ready to fight. You're gonna crash out. Somebody do that to your kids, you're gonna crash out. If somebody do that to your woman, Hassan, you in the street, you chilling, you went to New York. Well, you in New York. I think you're in New York or Jersey or somewhere around there. But if you're in the New York area and you're out and about and somebody see you, they're like, yo, that's Hassan. Yeah, let's throw some snowball at him. And you with your woman, mind you. Y'all just out there, went to take some pictures, and they start throwing snow, and they bust your girl in the face, your wife. Boom! What you gonna do? What you gonna do, Hassan? You gonna say, Oh, it's just snow. Come on, baby, it's cool, it's cool. You think your woman gonna look at you and say it's cool? Or you gonna crash out? Which one? Because it seems as if though everything is fun and games because it's the cops, but if we bring it a little closer to home, now all of a sudden we want to get defensive. If it was your daughter that got hit with a snowball, you would crash out. If it was your woman, you would crash out. If they did this to you, you would probably be back in prison. I don't think that you'll just let these ninjas throw these snowballs at you and you right there in front of him. You're going to grab one of them. You may not be able to beat everybody up, but I guarantee you, if you grab one of them YNs, one of them, you'll damn near manhandle them and destroy them right there. And you wouldn't care because your mind will flip. You'll flip out. See, a lot of you will say what you won't do. Oh, I wouldn't crash out over no snow. I ain't gonna let nobody. You'd be surprised what you do. You'd be surprised what you do under the right circumstances.
Look at the world that we are living in. Salute to them kids for going outside and actually getting off the video games and taking it back in the days and having fun with each other. You know, because in today's times, people don't have fun with each other. Everybody's just stuck to their gadget. Them kids went outside to play.
No, they went outside to terrorize the community. Stop calling them kids, fam. Those are grown men. Grown men. You ain't see the officer when he was walking by? They're just as tall as the officer. Do you understand me? These are not kids, man. These are young men with no jobs and nothing to do. And they were outside terrorizing the community. And they sent in law enforcement to set order and regulate the situation. And you're condoning violence on officers. I want you to think about that because we're going to remember this video. The next time a young black man get gunned down in New York, I'm going to bring back up this video. I'm going to bring this video back up. And I'm going to say, Hassan, remember the video that you made when the young youth were out there attacking officers? Okay, we have one that's dead right now. What do you guys say about it? You going to say the officers are racist? Because I know that's what you're fitting to say. Let's go.
Have fun. And the police tried to interrupt their fun.
The police didn't try to interrupt their fun. The police tried to regain order because these youths were acting disorderly, causing disturbances, attacking people with snowballs. Tell the truth. Stop leaving out information from the context of the narrative.
No charges was made against these kids. No arrest was made against these kids. You know why? Because they was involving nobody but each other.
That's a lot. People are getting hit with snowballs, y'all. Go do the research, man. This man is lying to you. He said they weren't bothering nobody. People were getting hit with snowballs. Vehicles were getting hit. It was a mob, out of control. Anytime you put a group of ninjas together, bro, it's always chaos and violence. I would never, ever go anywhere where I see predominantly ninjas, bro. I wouldn't even go there. I wouldn't even go there, fam. It's absolutely sick. Oh, they're not even harming. They're not harming nobody. They're just having fun. So hold up, you don't see these youths throwing snowballs at law enforcement officers unprovoked? Those officers didn't go out there to have a snowball fight. But you just said they were out there having fun. They weren't harming nobody. You're literally lying to your viewers.
Nobody got shot. Nobody got stabbed. Nobody, I mean, if somebody did go to the hospital, it might have been in the name of fun.
Wow, this is crazy.
These kids for once in a lifetime wasn't even killing each other. They wasn't hurting each other. They wasn't turning each other's TV off. They wasn't rocking each other's snot box.
Do you see what he's doing, guys? He's saying once in their life they weren't killing each other, which confirmed that in the black community, blacks are always killing each other. He's trying to say once in their life they're having fun and the officers are trying to spoil their fun. Listen, when I was a teenager and we were out there doing dirt, I remember cops would pull up and they would just clear the area, tell us go home. It is what it is. It'll be late at night. We all at the park, everybody just wilding out. They would come there to clear the whole area out. We go about our business. We ain't start throwing bottles and doing all that stupid stuff. And back in the day, law enforcement was no joke. In the 90s, you ain't want to F around and find out with the NYPD. You didn't want to go through all of that. They were not playing games back then. It wasn't like today with the internet, cameras everywhere. Dudes used to get their face broke, teeth busted out, thrown on the floor, thrown in the car, drugs planted on them, all sorts of stuff. I had literally lived experience where my friends had drugs planted on them by police, and they were put in prison. They didn't have nothing on them, but they planted drugs. All of this stuff was done back in the day. You got good cops, you got bad cops. But for some reason in the black community, they have no respect for law enforcement. You know? They have no respect whatsoever. You have cops that literally, that's their job. They get up, they go to work, they do their thing. But in the black community, we're taught to hate police, just like we're taught to hate white people. I just haven't been cut from that cloth of evil. I'm the type of black man that, like all people, doesn't matter who you are. Hassan is cut from the cloth that says the white man is the enemy, the NYPD is the enemy. So if these are all the enemies, next time you have a fender bender on the road, don't call the police. Don't make a police report. You know? Don't make a police report, fam. Somebody break in your house, don't call the cops. Because the way black folk be acting is as if though the NYPD is not needed. If the NYPD wasn't out there, there'll be nothing but lawlessness in New York. Because in the black community, there's no love. The black community is a death sentence, a death trap. It's nothing but death over there. There's no love whatsoever. Nothing but violence, drugs, and gangs. And who they're fighting against? Themselves. Every predominantly black community that have gang affiliations, ask them who the ops are. The ops is not the white man. The ops is another gang of blacks. Ain't that sick? Ain't that crazy? The gang violence in the black community is not against white people or Asians. It's against other blacks. Make that make sense?
But they must go to jail.
Yeah.
Because they showed the police, y'all not just gonna come over to where we at and harass us today.
Wow. So now you're condoning it. You're basically saying that they weren't having fun. Hassan, do you see what you just did? You realize you effed up, right? You're basically saying that because cops came to set order, that it was justified. Because they're going to make an example out of the cops that you can't come and stop our fun.
And we gonna make a mockery of y'all here. Now what the police should have did, you know what the police should have did? They should have grabbed some snow and they should have threw some snow back, and that would have been the dopest snowball fight that you seen.
No, it wouldn't have been. The officer would have been fired. That just shows that you don't know nothing. The officer would have been fired if he did that. Not only would he be fired, if he would have hit anybody with a snowball, they would have been able to sue the city. See, this just goes to show that you're not smart or intelligent. When you're on duty as an officer, you don't join in the bull crap when you were called to make people disperse and pretty much go home. So that officer, if he would not, listen, he would have had some sort of disciplinary action. I don't know exactly the standard procedures of how they operate in the NYPD, but if he would have injured somebody with a snowball, he would have been fired. He would have been sit down desk duty. Something would have been happening to that officer. Because they were called out there to disperse the crowd, not to play in the snow. Do you understand me? This is why when you're on duty as a cop, you got to know how to move. The wrong move can cost you your career, your livelihood, and your freedom. Hassan is not smart, fam.
Same way, shout out to the police officers that be going in the community and playing basketball with the kids.
We're not talking about police officers that play basketball with the kids. We're talking about police officers that were called to a location because of a disturbance, and their job and mission statement was to cause the crowd to disperse, make everybody go back home, and cool down the community. That's what their job was for. We're not talking about the officers who played basketball with the youth. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the good cops who were at a place and they were just chilling and you had some kids playing basketball and they said, hey, officer, could you shoot the ball? And the officer took a shot. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a situation where the youth is attacking pedestrians, people in the streets. Officers was given commands by their superiors, head on out there, disperse the crowd, set order, clear the streets. That was their mission statement. If I'm called by my supervisor to go somewhere and handle a job, I'm not there to play in the snow. If I get caught playing in the snow, I'm going to get in trouble.
Shout out to the police officers that knows what it's like to be an uncle and a father and actually go outside and hang out and play with the kids. Just imagine if more police officers would go outside and have fun with the kids. But see, somebody...
He's gaslighting you. He's gaslighting you. He's basically saying that if more officers decided to come out to the community and have fun, this would have never happened. That's what he's basically saying. He's trying to clean up what he already did. If you really think about it, Hassan is trying to clean up the fact that he condoned violence against police officers. That's what he basically just did on a YouTube platform. Condoning violence on officers. That's crazy.
Race baiters, they can't do that. They can't see it, and they can't see themselves playing amongst
who?
You fill in the blank. It is what it is.
Now he's gonna say fill in the blanks. He don't want to say black people. He ain't want to say black people, but that's exactly what this is about, guys. He ain't want to say black people.
I need y'all to get in the comment section. I need y'all to talk to me in the comment section because I'm going to talk back to you in the comment section on this video right here. Talk to me. Was these kids wrong?
Of course they were wrong. You're a grown man. Of course they were wrong.
For going outside and having fun with snowballs?
Hassan, if your son was amongst those dudes, you would not be making this video. You would not be making these videos if your son was one of those dudes throwing these things at these cops. You would not be talking like this, man. You condoning violence against police officers, man. That's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's dangerous. You have a responsibility with your platform. We already been through this rodeo already. You did this before. You did this before, and I spoke about it before. It was something that happened a while back, and you were condoning some madness, some goofy stuff, and I called out that BS. Now you're doing it again. You back at it again. You dropped the ball again. Now you condoning violence against police officers. We here at Ringo TV Reactions, we don't condone violence against no police officers. Not like this. This is unprovoked, it's unethical, it's wrong. And anybody that's supporting this garbage, something wrong with you.
I wish I was there with them. That would have been dope.
He wish he was there attacking the police officers, guys. Hassan Campbell just said he wished he was there to be throwing snowballs at police officers. What more do you got to say, fam? I mean, I understand you want to get the clicks and the views, Hassan. I get it. You got to do what you got to do to make your bread. But not like this, bro. You are literally condoning violence against police officers in the worst way. And you're making it seem like because it's snow, it's cool. Snow can injure you. Snow can cause pain. This is not, yo, I can't believe that I got to address this and people still upset with me. A lot of you that are viewing right now, you're mad at me. You're mad at me for addressing the truth. What the heck is wrong with black people, bro? What is wrong with us?